PayEasy is payroll software made for the Tanzanian market. I'm logging on here. For the training file, the username is 1234 and the password is 1234 as well. I accept the current month and we're in. At the top of the screen we see the name of the company file, the month that we're in, the version of the program, and the location of the data file. We are now on the server. If I would like to open a file on the local hard disk, we can open another data file here. We go to the hard disk, we look for a payroll folder, and we open this file. And within a moment or so we can see that we have now opened a file on the local hard disk. Again, we log on with 1234 and 1234 for the password. Accept the month, and here we are. If we want to make a backup of our data file, under the Home tab in the File group, we click on the command Backup. In this case, it's going to make a backup in my Dropbox folder PayEasy. I click Backup and it's done. There's a restore function, of course. Let's have a look at the QuickBooks IIF exporter. This command creates a file that can be imported into QuickBooks. It will contain a monthly summary of the payroll. When I click on QuickBooks IIF, it suggests to make the PayEasy.iif file in this folder here, Reports in PayEasy. This can be changed in the configuration of PayEasy. For now, I accept this, click Make IIF, and it's done. PayEasy has got 9 menu tabs. We just had a look at some home options. We're now going to have a look at data entry. At first we're going to see the employee information module. Along the top here we can put in an admin code, names, the category of employee. We can look up employees by names or by codes. Under the personal tab we have biodata, educational stuff. Under financial we can decide whether we pay salaries through the bank, cash or check, advances. We can enter bank information, and we can also set which pension authority will be applied to this employee. Employment details. Here we enter contracts. So this first contract is between 2003 and 2025. It shows the basic salary at this point in time, place of work. We could enter a branch. It doesn't make sense then. We can enter some HR specifications like the job title, job specification, job description. Here we can set salary scales, and in this section here we set recurrent earnings and recurrent deductions. So earnings that are automatically applied each month and deductions that are applied each month. Under the data entry tab, the next item we would like to show you is the payroll for the month. So here we make adjustments on the automatic entries. For example, if Peter Lema would be given an advance this month We could enter that here and say, okay, he was given 75,000 shillings advance. There we are. And then in the bottom here, we can see what's happening for Peter Lema. When I want to pay Peter Lema overtime, I can do that here. Public holiday, number of hours. Let's say he did 16 hours public holiday overtime. Then this is calculated. Overtime is right here, the proper rate. And then after we've done the adjustments, we can start producing reports. That will be the next section. Looking at some payment commands now. The first one is salary slips, and I select 3 per page. I accept this, click OK, and then the salary slips will be produced. The first one is in English, the second Kiswahili, the third one happens to be in English again. Next page, more salary slips. We can see that there is a header, there's earnings, there's these deductions, take-home information, and a signature area in the bottom. I close this by pressing the escape key. And we're going to have a look at the NSSF pension form, the monthly pension form. I click here. Here we can enter some information like the check number, the date, the branch of the bank that you're using, a penalty of any. And we click OK. And the form or forms are produced. Print them, sign them, send them with a check. I close it by pressing the escape key. The third command under payments is the bank forms. I click here on bank. I accept. And the forms that are produced are arranged that it is 1 per bank. So the first form is for the Barclays Bank, the second for the C2B Bank, Exim Bank, etc. At the same time, while we were making these forms, PayEasy also exported this information to Excel files that you may want to use to upload to the bank. For example, let me look in the reports folder. And I open the Barclays file. Here we are. This is what it looks like. The format that Barclays accepts. Then here we have a generic format that most banks will accept. And if you have any format that PayEasy doesn't make yet, just let us know and we'll make it for you. I press escape to close this. And we'll continue with statutory reports. Under statutory reports, we're going to have a look at the monthly pay-as-you-earn reports. We calculate, we click OK, we accept the filter, and then here we get the amount payable to the TUA for pay-as-you-earn and for the SDL tax. I press the escape key and we're going to have a look at the workers' compensation report. Accept the filter. Here we are, the cover page and the consecutive page or pages. Now these days we're uploading it to the workman compensation website, to the portal. So that we do here the workers' compensation export. It has exported the report to the reports folder. file wcf.xls. Let's have a look at that file. Here it is. Open it up, and here we are, exactly the format that WCF wants to have it in. And then lastly, statutory. Let's have a look at the P9, P10 reports. They have a different name. It's ITX something. We click here for the semi-annual report. We accept that it's in headquarters. We accept that it's the first half of 2017. I click OK. And we get the cover page here, and then one or more detail pages. Print them, send them, and it's done. I close this, and this is all I want to show under the statutory tab. Under the summaries tab, we're going to have a look at two reports. The standard overview report, here we are. It is arranged by department, I can see, and on the next page we get the totals and a signature area that can be turned off in the configuration. I advise users to print this and to file this. And the other summary report I want us to look at is the variance report that shows us the values of this month, or some of the values of this month compared to the previous month. Whenever the value has gone up, like here Peter Lima's basic salary went up with 50,400 shillings, it is in blue. If there's a decrease, it is yellow. So here one can quickly see what values have changed since last month. Let me have a look at another report, deductions. Here it shows all the deductions for the month, and also loan deductions are included. Likewise, there is a report for earnings that shows all the earnings, and again a signature area. Human resource management data entry, HRM entry. We'll have a look at employee information. At the top, again, the general employee information. And then there's a number of tabs below that. Let's have a look at health, request date, the start date of the sickness, the end date, the health issue, remarks if any, a doctor's note could be attached here as well. Allergy special needs are recorded here, and then here there's health insurance information. Equipment issued for Fred Masawe. Description, model, serial number, quantity, value, issued on and returned. It's possible to run a report. There it is. And let's have a look at appraisals. Appraisals can be searched here. The date, the reason for the appraisal, whether the contract is going to be renewed, when the next appraisal will be, discussion points, recommendations made, inputs from the employee, the coordinator, director, colleagues can be attached here. And then here a scoring sheet is kept. The items on the score sheet can be set in the configuration, the weight for each question as well, and then there is a total score and an average weighted score. Let me close this. Under HM entry, let's have a look at recruitment. Recruitment takes us from the job analysis through job descriptions, advertise a job, process applications, evaluate, appoint and employ, and onboarding, also known as induction. Let's have a look at the item in the center. So here we are processing a job for a sales manager, both internal and external. Location, the status of this job application. Here we can look at the candidates. One was rejected, the other one was successful. More information on the candidate. After the applications have been processed, the candidate is evaluated and then can be employed. So a new contract is made in the system. And then there is an induction. So here you track the induction process and again can be printed. And it prints it to my, oh, here it is. HRM reports. We'll have a look at statistics. Here we're presented with distributions of female males, age distribution by department, by bank, payment, employment level, and salaries. As another example here, let's have a look at appraisal scores. Let's do this for all employees. And then here we have a list of appraisal outcomes. Then there is HRM lists. It looks like a very small option. When you click that, you get 17 different reports to choose from. Let's have a look at leave, for example. We can filter here at the bottom for what period, what part of the company you want to look at. I just take all, I click OK, and we get this overview. Another example, contact list of staff. Here you are. Close. Options. We'll start by looking at the configuration of the software. Company information. Here we can make some settings about the salary slips, whether you show a signature section in the bottom or not. The order in which they're printed. Here on the reports, whether you want to filter them or you just want to have all entries at all times. Let's have a look at financial. Here you define the banks that you use, either for the organization or the employees, branches, if there are any, currencies that you can add. You can set the exchange rates for organizations that use donors. We can track payments by projects and by donors. And we can set the payment points here. Here we can define the taxes. Currently we're still using the 2016 pay-as-you-earn table. Whenever a new table comes out, one clicks the button here, import table, and it will pull in the latest pay as you earn table from the internet. You can set the STL percentage, WCF percentage. As you can see, this is not a screen if you are in a multi-user situation where all users may access. It is usually done by the systems operator. Here we can define pensions, earnings and deductions, employment tables that are set up. Oh. Here we define users. It's a multi-user program. The first user here is always a systems operator. This cannot be deleted or changed. It shows us the password strength. It says 1234 is a very short password and it's of a very poor strength. This password is probably better. It's a strength 4, length is 10. So here we can set different groups of users, either as a sysop, as an admin, an operator, an HRM, or payroll. And then for these levels, we can set the roles in the next tab sheets. But before we go there, on the right hand side there are password rules. So we can decide, for example, that after every 90 days people's passwords expire and that they are warned 5 days in advance that this is going to happen. The minimum length accepted can be set here. Minimum strength. Minimum strength is about a combination of small case, uppercase, numbers and signs. Here you can set it after 3 times of a bad password. The user will be locked out. And there's also an automatic lock off the screen. Say after 10 minutes of no using PayEasy, it will automatically lock. The next 2 tabs give us the user rights. So anybody with a payroll role, you could set, for example, that they're allowed to view loans, they can edit them, and they can add new ones. They cannot delete them. This is for the data entry, HRM and data entry menus. Here we see the home functions. So the payroll person can make a backup, but the HRM person cannot. Right. Here I would like to show you the audit trail that's kept. If this is here is ticked. So here it shows all the changes that are made by date, time, and user, in which form it is done, and what was changed. We can filter them and print them out. Then in options, I would like to show you that you can turn on a dashboard. The dashboard is there at all times. It shows how many people are present, how many are on leave. Okay, now there's a lot of red warnings here because this is in May 2017. If I would change the date to 2016, there's probably not that many warnings coming up. No, so here we see that 2 drivers' licenses are or have expired by this date. You double click on it and you get a list and you can see what action needs to be taken. Help. There's a help index with currently 137 topics. It will explain anything here in this list on the left. You can print out the help topic. Printer's not ready. This list can also be called up by pressing F1 on an empty screen here. If I have the employee info window open and I press F1, the help now is context sensitive. If I press the F1 key, we get help about employee info. And then there's also here and there help provided by section. So in this category, if I click on the question mark, we learn more about status. Here we are. PayEasy comes with a user manual that's on the CD, and you can also download the latest from our website. There is also a learning area where you can set your own course, and here there is a button that will let you enter an error report that you email straight to our team.